In class, you couldn't help messing with the school beauty's shoulder strap. Turns out the bra was terrible quality. One tug and the strap snapped. The sound it made against her skin instantly had the whole class staring. One look at her murderous expression, and you already knew your dad was going to tear into you when you got home. Because she and you grew up together as next-door neighbors and childhood sweethearts. She was definitely going to rat you out the second school let out. Either way, you were getting it. So Li Xin just pulled her into his arms and kissed her, and whispered softly in her ear, "I am never going to let you go again. In your past life, you had a fortune worth billions, but it wasn't until a terminal illness hit that you saw how ugly people truly are. Your wife tried to use your newborn son as leverage, just to get her hands on everything you owned. In your final moments, you opened the diary your lawyer handed you, and discovered that Qingmo had quietly been in love with you for 16 years. And when your condition turned critical, she secretly donated bone marrow to save you without telling a soul. Maybe heaven itself felt you deserved better, because you were given a second chance at 18. You made yourself a silent promise. This time you would make her your bride no matter what. Are you seriously spacing out right now? Why do you keep staring at me like that?" Liu Ruxu's voice yanked you back from your thoughts. You shot straight up out of your seat, pulled her into your arms, and kissed her boldly on the lips. The entire class went absolutely speechless. Liu Ruxu's face flushed red in an instant. She shoved you hard, and immediately flipped you over her shoulder and dropped you flat on the floor. She straddled you, and pinned both your arms down. "Have you lost your mind? Why do you keep pulling moves on me?" Looking at that face of hers all flushed and flustered, you just brushed it off with some random excuse, not long after the two of you caused that whole scene. The teacher walked in right on cue. Suddenly a piece of chalk came flying straight at you. "Hey you, what are you zoning out about? Get up here and solve this problem." Every head in the room swung around, all wearing the same look. "Can't wait to watch this." You let a small smirk cross your face, gave a confident smile, and walked up to the board without missing a beat, grabbed the chalk and knocked out the answer in seconds, then strolled back to your seat cool as ever, while the whole class stared in disbelief. Liu Ruxu quietly slid you a note. "Look at you, Mr. Troublemaker. So you actually knew how to do that." You quickly scribbled a note back. She read it, and her cheeks turned pink. She shot you one sharp glare, and refused to acknowledge you for the rest of class. The moment the final bell rang, Liu Ruxu grabbed her bag and bolted out the door. You figured she was just too embarrassed to face you, but when you got to the bike rack and were about to head home, you found the air had been let out of your tires, and right on cue, Liu Ruxu's voice drifted over from nearby. "Oh no, what happened to your bike? Looks like you're walking home today. Such a shame." One listened to that smug tone and your toes already knew exactly who did it. Without a word, you hopped onto her back rack, and wrapped both arms tight around her waist. "Take me home," she grabbed your wrists, and was about to say something, when someone nearby said, "Hey look, is the school beauty flirting?" The second she heard people talking, she let go immediately. I'm the one who should be mad at you, but I'll admit, that waist of yours really is something felt incredible to hold. Say one more word and I will kick you off this bike right now. Okay, don't be mad, Xiaozhi. I'll treat you to ice cream. They stopped at the little shop by the neighborhood entrance. "Auntie Wang, 2 ice cream bars, please." Xiaoyu bit into hers with a look of pure bliss on her face. Once she finished hers, she locked her eyes onto the half bar still in your hand. "Hey, let me have a bite. Just one bite. Come on, fine. One bite, but don't take too much." She chomped off more than half in one go, leaving you with almost nothing, then spun around and bolted. You stared at the tiny sliver left in your hand, popped it in your mouth and then took off after her. "You think you can just eat my ice cream and run?" You let out a quiet laugh, picked up the pace, and caught her at the bend in the stairwell. "What are you going to do?" She looked up at you with panicked eyes, her chubby little cheeks all rosy, ridiculously cute. "So how are you going to make it up to me? You really have the nerve to ask me for compensation. You pulled that stunt on me in class today, and I haven't even settled that score yet." Staring at her fair, smooth skin so close, your mind drifted for a moment. "Hey, your mom is here. You didn't buy it for a second." You shook your head, figured it was just another one of her tricks. Just as you were about to go in for another kiss, a hand came from behind and yanked you by the ear. "Were you messing with Xiaozhu again?" "Ow, ow, ow, Mom, I swear I wasn't." "Ask her yourself." Liu Ruxu put on the most pitiful face. "Auntie, he didn't bully me." "Run, you little brat. So now you've learned how to threaten people." "Xiaozhu, don't you worry. Auntie is going to deal with him when we get home." "Sounds great. Auntie, I'll see you later then." The words barely left her mouth, and she was already sprinting upstairs. After dinner, you headed back to your room, slid the window open and called out across the way. "Hey, Liu Ruxu, what are you doing?" A moment later, the window across from yours swung open. "What do you want?" "Were you just trash-talking me? How did you know?" "Ha, called it." "Quick question. What kind of guy do you like?" She tilted her head and thought about it, then said, "Honestly, I haven't really thought about it. But he'd have to be good looking for starters." "Well, that's just me, isn't it? You dragged me over here just to talk about this. How incredibly boring. Now it's my turn to ask." She propped her chin in both hands, leaned on the windowsill and looked at you. "What kind of girl do you want to be with?" "Well, she'd need to be around 5'5", about 120 pounds, give or take. Size 6 shoes and skin as white as snow. Has to be a pretty girl, and ideally O-positive blood type." She froze for a second, then snapped, "Oh, you jerk, you're making fun of me again, aren't you?" With that, she yanked her curtain shut with a loud snap, and ended the conversation, then sat there staring blankly at her homework, her mind drifting back to memories from when you were kids. You were both only 6 years old then. You were sitting on the floor, completely absorbed in building with your blocks. Liu Ruxu came bouncing through the door and ran straight up to you. "Xiaomo, do you want some candy? And these are special wedding candies." The second you saw the candy, when your eyes lit up completely, you wiped your nose with your sleeve and grinned. Yes, I want some." She carefully pressed the candy into your hand. "My mom says only married people get to eat wedding candy, so if you eat mine, you have to marry me." Okay, then when I grow up, I'll marry you. The next morning. Hey, you big sleepyhead. Get up already. You stumbled out of bed half asleep, shuffled to the window, looked across at the girl on the other side, and just grinned like an idiot. What are you grinning at? Go put on your school uniform. I am not getting detention because of you. On the way to school, you two slipped down a familiar side street without even thinking. Hey, 2 bowls of hot pork awful noodles. My treat today. Order whatever you want. Liu Ruxu gave you the most baffled look. You always used to worry I'd eat and ditch. What's gotten into you today? Something's definitely up. And right as she was overthinking it, you suddenly asked, why do you have dark circles? Were you up all night thinking about me? In your dreams? Only an idiot would be thinking about you. I just didn't finish my homework. That's what was keeping me up. Well, you just called yourself an idiot. Liu Ruxu huffed and puffed her cheeks out. You're the idiot. My IQ is a 115, thank you very much. Oh, really? Then let me quiz you. What's 2 times 4? Liu Ruxu answered without missing a beat, and he smiled. There's my girl. I am going to kill you. Before she even finished the sentence, she launched herself at you. Easy, easy. We're in public. Think about how this looks. When we get home, you can do whatever you want. You jerk. Just you wait until we get home, and just like that, between the bickering and laughing, you two eventually made it to school, with only about 2 months left before finals. Every single day was either a practice exam or a worksheet. The routine was getting old fast. But today was a surprise. The last period turned out to be a free study hall. You dug into your pockets and pulled out a handful of crumpled bills. Counted them over and over. All your allowance added up to $8. Nowhere near enough to buy Liu Ruxu anything decent for her birthday. So you got an idea, and turned to your seatmate Lu Guan. Bro, come on. I'm about to make us both some money. And with that, you dragged a completely confused Lu Guan and ditched class for the electronics mall. Watching you just disappear without a word, Liu Ruxu sat alone at her desk steaming. Jerk didn't even wait for me. I'm going home by myself. Meanwhile, inside the electronics mall at a repair shop, a young guy was arguing with the owner holding his laptop. What did you just say? 20 days to fix a laptop. That's way too long. Can't you speed it up? If not, I'm filing a complaint. His voice was loud enough that it caught your attention right away. Hey man, your laptop's broken. Want me to take a look? You can fix computers. The chubby shop owner scanned you up and down. Not a single trace of confidence in his face. I'm trained in computer repair. Your voice carried a calm confidence that didn't match your age. Hearing that, the young guy lit up like he'd just found a lifeline. All right then. Please just take a look. I already made plans to pull an all-nighter gaming with the crew tonight. It didn't take long. You pinpointed the problem fast, and after getting the owner's okay, you got to work taking it apart as about an hour later. The screen came back to life. Thank you so much. Dude, you really saved me today. I'm Jinyu. Let's swap contacts. Next time something breaks, you're my first call. And he pulled $600 out of his wallet and pressed it into your hand. You have to understand. Back in those days, $600 was basically what an average worker made in an entire month. The chubby owner sidled right over, all smiles. Hey kid, that's some real skill you got there. Feel like teaming up. I'll send all the repair jobs your way, and we split the profit 50-50. How does that sound? You turned it down without hesitation. 50-50. I'd rather just go find a partner at the other electronics building. And you turned to walk out. The owner scrambled to grab you both. If 50-50 doesn't work for you, what split would be fair? 80-20. I get 80. If you're good with that, we have a deal. If not, then forget it. And you turn toward the door again. Fine, fine, fine. 80-20 it is. Only then did a satisfied grin show up on your face. Pleasure doing business. After leaving the electronics mall, you pocketed your earnings and dragged Lu Guan straight to the market. While at that very moment, Liu Ruxu was leaning on her desk, eyes drifting toward your window. Why isn't this jerk back yet? She grabbed a clothes hanger pole and poked at your closed window. Creak. The door behind her swung open. Xiaozhe, what are you doing in here? She jumped at the sudden voice and quickly hid the pole behind her back. Nothing. Nothing at all. Her mom Chung Ya saw right through her. Xiaozhe, do you have feelings for Jomo? What are you talking about? I do not. Only an idiot would fall for someone like him. Chung Ya looked at her daughter's flustered expression and pressed her lips together to hide a smile. I think Xiaomo is a good kid. Not just kind, but sharp too. Liu Ruxu crunched loudly into an apple. What's so great about him? All he does is find new ways to mess with me. I don't buy that he's actually messing with you. And with that, Chung Ya turned and headed into the kitchen to start dinner. Boom. Just then, lightning flashed outside the window. Thick clouds rolled in and fat raindrops started hammering down. Oh no, Jomo didn't bring an umbrella, did he? The more Liu Ruxu thought about it, the more anxious she got. So she grabbed an umbrella and ran out the door. Chung Ya poked her head out from the kitchen, a knowing smile tugging at the corner of her mouth. This girl claims she doesn't care about Jomo, but nobody's more worked up about him than she is. Liu Ruxu hurried to the entrance of the complex with her umbrella and kept craning her neck toward the road. She stood there for a good half hour. Then finally a figure on a bicycle appeared at the end of the street. Jumo, where have you been? Why are you so late? I didn't think the rain was going to get this bad, so I waited it out by the road for a while. Don't tell me you were out here waiting for me this whole time. No, I was not. I was waiting for someone else. Her cheeks went instantly pink, a flicker of panic in her eyes. She quickly changed the subject. Didn't you have a rain jacket with you? Why are you holding it instead of wearing it? You flashed a big grin. Because this is your birthday present. Liu Ruxu froze on the spot. But my birthday isn't until 2 weeks from Saturday. That's fine. I'll just give you 2 presents then. And with that, you pulled back the jacket you'd been cradling, revealing a 4-foot-tall pink stuffed pig standing right there. Happy early birthday. She stared at you with wide eyes. Something moved in her chest. This fool had ridden home in the rain, just to keep a stuffed animal dry, all because it was meant to be her birthday gift. In that moment, her heart was full of surprise and warmth at the same time. You don't like it. Like it? Love it. Like the color? Love it. Like the style? Love it. Do you like me? Yes? Hey wait, you tricked me again.